The holidays are full of fun traditions and a lot of family time. Young kids love every minute of that. But as kids get older, it can be a struggle finding that balance between family, friends, and work too. Author and speaker Brooke Romney has a few rules to make sure everyone feels validated. It's so great to see you.
You too.
And it's not that, I feel the need to say, in defense of teens, it's not that they hate tradition or hate Christmas or hate family time, but it does seem there's a lot of extra tension this time of year.
Yeah, there can be because they have busy lives. They have desires and hopes and things they want to do with their free time. And so sometimes that can cause just a little more contention because all of a sudden families have a lot of plans too.
More than the usual.
Yes.
Our calendar is extra busy. I'm going to throw out a scenario and you tell me maybe your best advice around that particular scenario, which we hope is a common one, assume it is. Your teen doesn't want to go to the extended family party. I know these people, Mom. I don't want to spend time in a big gym talking to people I don't know. How do you deal with that without a fight?
So I think the first thing is to just empathize and let them know, like, you know what? I remember how awkward that was talking to a bunch of second cousins and great aunts that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I get that. Grandma and Grandpa love having their family together. So we're going to bring 2 cars. And I can stick around for as long as I want to, and you can take off after you've done a little time and said hello and had some food. And I think that's a nice way to compromise and letting them know that you're on their team, you get it. It's not like you versus them all of December. You really want to make things work for both of you.
Well, it feels like the buzzword in any of these situations would be compromise, right? Like, I hear you, I see you, let me meet you in the middle. That's always going to go over the best.
I think it almost always is the best way to tackle something when there's just 2 really strong feelings, you know?
I like that. Have a getaway car.
Yes.
We'll have it parked and running. Just kidding. Okay, your son wants to spend the entire break with friends. How do we strike middle ground?
So going at it again with love and empathy first, saying like, I know you are so excited to be off school and to have this free time and you've got all these plans with friends. That sounds awesome. You know, I'm also off work. Are there 2 days in that Christmas break that we can plan? You know, I'm so excited. I've got a couple of things that I've planned for the family. Which 2 days work best for you? Or would you prefer that we do things during the day or at night? You know, helping them have a little say in their time, their plans, I think it goes a long way. It also shows them there's not really an option to do friends all the time, that family is important and you're excited to be with them, not because you want to make them miserable, because you genuinely enjoy being together with your family.
Well said, Brooke. I appreciate honoring that boundary while at the same time getting their buy-in. Like you said, that would have to happen early as opposed to the morning of. Today we are, present plan.
Yes, and I think that goes a long way, is letting people know as early as possible, like, you know, from December 17th when you're off of school till January 2nd, like, we are going to have 3 family days. Like, where do you want those to be and how can we make it work for everyone?
I love that. Your teen is ruining the Christmas magic for the little ones. How can you encourage maybe a different behavior?
So this one can be tough because all kids are so different, but one of the ideas that I think might work is involving them in some of the Christmas magic, right? If they're gonna sit there and talk about how dumb the elf is, you know, have them be the one that does the elf. That takes some pressure off the mom and gets them a little bit of ownership. Having them have a say, right, in what they wanna do. Hey, it feels like, you know, Christmas doesn't feel as magical to you. Are there a couple traditions that you love, or is there something you want to introduce your younger siblings to that was really fun when you were little that we can make magical for them? So helping them kind of feel more like an adult, like they matter, and that they are part of the Christmas magic in just kind of a new way.
Yeah, it sometimes gets hard when you're older. It gets tricky to believe in that Christmas magic, but most people come around, right?
Yes, I think so.
The elf needs some cheerleaders is what we're saying. Your daughter is all over the family traditions. She's sick of it. She's done, she's done, she's done. How can you get her to want to participate?
Well, I'm going to share a little experience in our family. And a couple of years ago, my kids were all transitioning into kind of those teenage years. And my husband bought tickets to a college basketball game. And I was like, what are you doing? This is Christmas. We do lights, we do Santa, we do giving. Like,
there's no tinsel on the basketball court.
Right? I was so bothered. And he was like, what's the point of these, like, Christmas? What's the point? And it was like, the point is to be together and enjoy each other and create memories. And we had a delicious barbecue dinner and we had the best time ever at a college basketball game. So I'm thinking, you know, think about some things that your kids really like to do and maybe add one of those into the calendar. Do something different, you know, go to a concert that they're excited about instead of one that you're excited about. It's really all about togetherness and making memories.
Yeah, so that can look so different than maybe what it does in your Christmas mind.
Yes, and you can take a deep breath about that and enjoy the good parts of something new.
Time for one more. Let's go to this one. Your teen wants presents that are way out of Santa's budget. How can you help them be happy, be content with what they're able to get?
Yeah, I think this one's tough, and I think sometimes it's out of your budget, and sometimes you just don't feel good about spending $1,200 on a present. So those are two kind of different situations. If it's truly something that you can't afford, I think having a conversation with your child is probably best to prepare them and say, you know what, I wish that I could get this for you. I would love to. It's just out of the budget. So I'm gonna give you some cash. I'm gonna ask Grandma to give you some cash this year so that you have the opportunity to get that as soon as you possibly can. Let them know, like, you're not there to ruin their life. Like, you want that for them
Again,
too.
I'm on your team.
Yeah, and it's not a possibility for me this year.
Yeah.
If it's just that morally you're not okay with spending that much money, I think that's okay to have a conversation too and saying, you know, instead, if you really want this, I'm gonna give you the entire Christmas budget that I was planning on spending. You know, that means like no extra clothes, no extra this. I'm willing to do that if you want that so badly, and then you can earn the rest of the money or ask for a gift or something from another grandparent. But just letting them know, like, not everybody gets these gigantic gifts, and that's also okay. Or maybe you can say, would you like us to give you the cash, or do you want to be surprised with something that's really fun that we're excited about giving you too? But I think a little preparation goes a long way so that on Christmas morning, they don't ruin Christmas for them and for you.
Right, it's not a letdown for them, and as a result, a heartbreak for you too. That's
Totally.
hard. That's a hard situation. Great advice, sound boundaries. Thank you so much. Where can we read more from you, Brooke?
Online at brookeromney.com, or on Instagram. I'm really active there at Brooke Romney Writes.
We featured your scripture Advent last week, and I love that concept. I don't know how I missed that, but so that's available on your website too.
Yes, that one's actually on Etsy, and we love that tradition.
Brooke, thank you. Merry Christmas.
You too.